What is a negative thought that's been on repeat in your mind this week? Don't run from it. Keep it front and center for a second while you listen to this episode. If your anxiety could speak, what would it say? And how would you respond? On this episode, we'll talk about how to have a conversation with your subconscious through writing so you can stop being a victim to your thoughts and start taking back your power. What is one thing you're settling for in your life right now? We're going to dive into how Neuro-Aligned journaling can give you the clarity and motivation you need to stop settling and start building the life you truly want. All this in this new episode of Neuro Soul Sync. But before we get into the episode, I want to take this moment to remind you of two things. Number one, the private Facebook community Rewired to Align is ready to welcome you. This is a great way to meet new people, to meet people that are on the same journey as you. And I am going to leave that link in the show notes so that you can come and hang out. And number two, after you listen to this episode, please make sure to leave me your review and to share this podcast with your family and friends. This is the fastest way that you can support me right now and have all this amazing information coming your way every week for free. If you have not done so, I invite you to do it after you listen to the episode. Just go where it says write a review and then leave me yours, and I will greatly appreciate it. Okay, beautiful soul. Now, let's start with the episode.
Hello, beautiful soul. What beliefs do you hold about yourself that might be limiting your potential? In what areas of your life do you feel you are not living authentically? What fears prevent you from expressing your true self? In what ways do you feel disconnected from your higher self, and what beliefs contribute to this disconnection? Welcome to Neuro Soul Sync, a podcast that blends neuroscience and spirituality, exploring the connection of our spiritual and emotional lives with the neuroscience of our bodies and brain. I'm Michelle Marie, your host, certified spiritual neurocoach, IVF twin mompreneur, lover of human design, and all things personal development. A few years ago, I felt exactly like that, yearning to live on purpose and authentically. I wanted to live fearlessly, prioritizing my needs and creating a life aligned to my core values and beliefs. And I was able to master this through neuroplasticity, spirituality, energetics, and the exact simple tools I will share with you here. I believe that when we are in alignment with who we are, life transforms from stuck and resistant to a journey of flow, impacting not only ourselves, but the collective consciousness. So if you're ready to get in the driver's seat of your life, live with authenticity, and discover simple yet powerful solutions that will guide you from feeling stuck to fulfilled, this is your sacred space. Let's get ready to vibe high, align, and manifest.
Welcome to the podcast, friend. Welcome to Neuro Soul Sync. I am your host, Michelle Marie, and I am super happy to be here with you. Today, I'm doing a deep dive into Neuro-Aligned journaling, what it is, how it's different from regular journaling, the benefits, and I'm going to guide you on a flow on how to do this. And I chose this topic because several episodes ago, I don't remember which episode, but several episodes ago, I mentioned Neuro-Aligned journaling, and then some of you came me to Instagram, which is my favorite hangout, and contacted me to know more. So we're going to get to it because I know this is a great practice that you can do and you can mix with your regular journaling. Let's start. What is Neuro-Aligned journaling? Well, Neuro-Aligned journaling, like the title says, is the practice of intentionally writing in a way that aligns your thoughts, emotions, and nervous system with your desired energetic and mental state, especially your higher self, your intuition, or your aligned identity. And it blends neuroscience, which is how the brain processes thoughts, beliefs, and identity. It also uses spiritual wisdom because it connects with our divine guidance. It aligns us, and it also connects us with our intuition. And then subconscious reprogramming, which you already know that is shifting our internal narrative and emotional wiring. And what makes it different from regular journaling? Do you have a journaling practice or do you have a morning pages practice? I don't know, but you've heard me before in this podcast say that journaling is a great way to connect to intuition, to our higher selves, to our divine consciousness. And also, when you keep a journal and you go back and you read where you were, you find patterns in your life. And that's the way that you can help yourself break those patterns. Well, instead of just venting or just processing thoughts like we do when we journal, narrow aligned journaling is going to help you differently. It's going to help you rewire your limiting beliefs, right? Because you're going to be conscious about reframing and you're going to be writing identity based writing. You're going to step into that future you. You're going to also activate your higher self by asking alignment questions and writing as if you already are the version of that spiritually grounded and intuitive being that you want to become, right? This is like working in our self concept. And you're going to also synchronize brain and energy because it's going to pull your mind out of survival mode, right? That desperate mode, that desperation that sometimes we get in when we are not regulated. And we're going to get into flow. So we're going to be creating space for intuition, for peace, and also for aligned action. So, how do you practice? Michelle, how do you practice neuro-aligned journaling? I'm going to give you an example of a flow on how to do this. And then what I want you to do, friend, is to take time this week when you do your practice and come back to this part of the episode, go through the flow and share with me your insights because it's very important for me to know that every tool that I'm giving you in all the episodes are helping you. And the only way to do that is by you contacting me, sending me your DMs and letting me know that it's helping you. And you can go to Instagram at Michelle Marie Pacheco, follow me, and then send me a DM through there and let me know that you are using these tools. All right. But before moving forward with the flow, remember, Rewire to Align is open and waiting for you to hang out. It's going to be amazing. You just have to answer 3 questions to get into that Facebook private community and that you're in and you're going to meet other people. If you live in Miami or any other state and you find that other people are in the same area, you can hang out and meet. It's great when we meet people that are on the same journey because they understand what we're going through, right? And another way to find support and new friends. And I'm going to leave that link in the show notes for you so that you can come and hang out with us at Rewire to Align. And now we're going to explore the flow that you want to use when you want to do your neuro-aligned journaling practice. And remember, the key here is to be very intentional. I know that sometimes we journal and we tend to go very surfacing, very, superficial, but we have to be intentional. We have to go deep. That's the only way that we are going to move forward and move the needle, right? And as I say, you're not going to be brain dumping, nothing like that. Here, you're going to be intentional. And this flow has 4 simple steps to follow. If you have pen and paper, this is the time that you stop me and you look for that pen and paper. And if you don't have pen and paper, that's okay. Just come back to this minute. Okay, the number one thing you want to do is that you want to get into a relaxed brain state. One way that you can do this is by breath work. Like you can do your box breathing or any type of breath work that you prefer. You can use solfeggio frequency music or any music that it's going to ground you and it's going to bring you into a peaceful state, right? We don't want to be crazy, dancing. No, we want to be grounded. So we're going to go into a grounded state. I off 963 hertz for this, but any hertz that you use, that's fine. We can do a quick meditation before going into our journaling practice. You can do a guided meditation, or you can just use music, theta waves, alpha waves to bring you into a state of grounding. And what this does when you are in a relaxed brain state, usually you go into your alpha or theta brain wave, you're calm and you're creative. And that will help you access also your subconscious mind. I have talked to you before about the different states of brain waves in episode 21. So the number one thing you want to do is that you want to get into a relaxed brain state. Number two, you have to ask powerful questions, and it all depends on what you are visualizing, what you're working on. Let me give you 3 to 4 example questions that you can use when you are doing this. And then when you do your own practice, you can add more questions that you feel are good for what you want to create. So, the number one question is, what does alignment look like for me today? What does alignment look like for me today? What is my intuition trying to tell me right now? What is my intuition trying to tell me right now? If I trusted myself fully, what decision would I make? If I trusted myself fully, what decision would I make? What belief is keeping me stuck? And what truth would set me free? What belief is keeping me stuck? And what truth will set me free? What unresolved story is the brain repeating? And what is one new, empowering sentence to add to that narrative today? What unresolved story is the brain repeating, and what is one new empowering sentence to add to the narrative today? What is being controlled that is outside of control, and what small, immediate action can be taken to find safety or peace? What is being controlled that is outside of control, and what small, immediate action can be taken to find safety or peace? And the last one, when the body gives an emotional sign, tension, flutter, fatigue, resistance, what is the deeper need it is trying to communicate? And how can that need be honored without judgment? When the body gives an emotional signal, tension, flutters, fatigue, resistance, what is the deeper need it is trying to communicate? And how can that need be honored without judgment? Okay? You got all the questions? Number 3, you're going to make sure that you're writing from the voice of your higher self. You're going to use I am and I choose statements. When you write with an I am statements, the I am claims and embodies a present reality, even while working toward it. And then the I choose, this phrase, the I choose phrase, actively declares personal responsibility and agency, reinforcing a sense of control and empowerment. So you want to be in the state of empowerment, right? In the state of what you are going to be. Remember that we are writing in our new self concept. And even though we are doing the reflection of where we are, if you listen carefully to the questions that I gave you, it allows you to bring that to the future self, right? So use I am and I choose statements. And then, of course, you're going to step into your future self because this is the form of visualization that helps you manifest your desired outcome. Why? Because you are embodying the person you want to become, and it connects the feelings of already being that person. And you know that I've told you many times before that the brain does not distinguish between real and imagine. So we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of this to be able to be creating in that embodiment of the future self. You're going to also avoid I hope or maybe, right? You don't want to say I hope, and I don't want to say maybe. That's disempowering. You don't want to write those terms. You want to write with certainty so that you can reinforce the new neural pathways. And phrases like I hope or maybe what do is that they undermine the goals because it implies that you don't have control, that you are not certain. It takes away the ownership. And certainty reinforces new neural pathways. The brain, my friend, changes through consistent, intentional acts. And I know that it can be very daunting sometimes. We get in our own way. We are human beings and we're all in this journey. If we were perfect, we wouldn't even be here. So this is not about perfection. This is about a journey and just making the conscious action, right? The conscious new action all the time. So when you write with conviction and repetition, this is going to reinforce new supportive pathways in your brain, making positive beliefs feel natural. So you don't want any hesitancy when you are writing because hesitant language keeps all limiting beliefs active by entertaining the possibility of failure. That's why I hope and maybe is not going to work. So remember, always use I am and I choose. And when you are writing, make sure that you're always affirming. Now, number 4, after you're done, you want to close with a nervous system regulation practice. And this is very important because it provides a vital endpoint for all the mental and all the emotional work that you just did through this journaling. When you do reflective work, especially if it's super deep, it can stir up powerful emotions, uncomfortable thoughts. Sometimes when we open the can of worms, we can relive certain experiences and things. So it's very important that you ground yourself and that you regulate yourself. That when you're done, you want to close with a nervous system regulation practice. And I am going to leave you the link in the show notes on the nervous system regulation episode that I did that has like several practices. But the one practice that I can tell you here right now very fast is deep breathing. Deep breathing. You can try the 4-4-4 method, the box breathing method. You can try an affirmation, or you can try a grounding statement like, I am safe, I am supported, I am in alignment. And this is the flow. This is what the flow is. It's very simple. It's only 4 steps. The first step is that you want to get into a relaxed brain state. The second step is that you want to ask powerful questions. The third step is that you're making sure that you're writing from the voice of your higher self. And the fourth one is that after you're done, you want to close with a nervous system regulation practice. And I'm going to tell you something. Neuro-Aligned journaling works, and it works because it taps into several key things that I have mentioned here before. Number 1 is your favorite that I always ask you, neuroplasticity, friend. And what neuroplasticity? The brain's ability to adapt and change. Number 2, reticular activating system, that if you haven't listened to that episode, you have to go back. The reticular activating system filters what you focus on, and journaling helps it find proof of alignment and of focus. Okay, so you want to make sure to take advantage of that. And number 3 are mirror neurons. So writing in an aligned state helps the brain mirror that identity. This is a practice that is rooted in neuroscience and psychology. This is not only reflection or, brain dumping or just getting everything out of your chest. This is a practice that is rooted in neuroscience and psychology. So please make sure to take advantage of it. Okay, beautiful soul. This is all that I have for you this week. Make sure that you sit down and you're very intentional doing this practice. And then what are you going to do? You're going to come to Rewire to Align, the Facebook private community, and share your insights. Or you can just DM me My Instagram handle again is at Michelle Marie Pacheco. You know that I love to hang out on Instagram. I hope that you're looking at my stories and that you're following me. All right, beautiful soul. It is my wish that this episode serves and blesses you. I want to thank you for sharing this space with me today. If this episode resonated with you, I love it if you share with a friend or leave me a quick review. It is the way you can support my work and also keeping this podcast on air. Remember, living in alignment is a journey, and Neuro-Aligned journaling isn't just about recording your thoughts. It's about actively working with your brain to find peace and empower your true self. I'm sending you lots of love.
I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I love creating it. If what you heard helped you, the number one way you can thank me is by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. My mission is that you feel empowered and more spiritually connected after listening, so your feedback means the world to me. Just scroll down to where it says write a review and leave me yours. And if you love what Neuro Soul Sync is about, please share with your family and friends. I believe the world becomes a better place when we come together collectively to make the change. I look forward to be with you next week.